That's two partners you lost. Your partner died. Dude, that is the best dead scene ever. No!
Thank you very thanks for the money, dummies.
Why am I poisoned? Why am I toxic? What the fuck?
Do what gives you pleasure and fuck everyone else.
Stop supporting these retarded, worthless betas.
Look here! Look!
Offered by...
Not the life you dreamed of, eh? You. Maybe you think it's my fault we live in this fucking shithole. My fault your fucking mother took off.
Wow.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, DSP here, and welcome to my year-end awards for 2019. We're starting off with the most disappointing games of 2019 countdown. Now, one of the games that I'm about to call out on this list were very disappointing to me, okay? Again, does not mean the games overall were absolutely terrible or bad. It just means that for me, I really wish that these games were better for one reason or another. A lot of people have a misconception, okay? Fair enough. 16 games, ladies and gentlemen, this year. 16 games that I sorted out that I want to talk about in this countdown. So let's get to it. Please bear with me. The most disappointing games of the year countdown, starting with number 16, which just happens to be a little game by the name of Wolfenstein Youngblood. Now, you may be seeing double. That's because, obviously, when I played these games this year, I had a webcam on the screen. I tried to position the webcam in a way that would block it most of the time. In this case, it doesn't. Wolfenstein Youngblood. Okay, this is not what you expect from a Wolfenstein game where you're supposed to have a hard-ass hero. Instead, you got two teenagers, and it just doesn't really fit the whole mood of the game. In addition to that, we're going to explore as soon as the fishing ends. As you can see, I do need to fish to raise my experience levels because I just dumped over 30 experience into this armor. Please, everyone, stop fucking being whiny bitches. The people who are complaining are being very annoying tonight. You see a chill Minecraft stream, and I got one guy whining about my Resident Evil 3 playthrough and one guy whining that I'm not exploring yet. I just want to relax. Fucking relax. So shut up. Okay, thank you. Okay, now I'm gonna relax. Alright, Cool Monkey is now banned because he's a fucking idiot. I just told him to stop, and he continues, so he's gone now. Complete moron. Yeah, you're right, onesies. The thing is, I'm trying to be a nice guy. I'm trying to give these people a chance. But then you know they're not going to take the chance. Instead, what they're going to do is just continue to be idiots like that guy right there. And now he's banned. So I don't know. He's like, onesies is like, just ban him. Don't even bother discussing or talking with him. Just ban him. I don't want to be like that. You know what I mean? I want to, like, give people an honest shot and think that maybe people could learn. But I guess not. I guess these people are just that stupid, right? He's very good. I liked all the other ones from the last decade. This one was a humongous disappointment for me, and I think that they really just didn't do a very good job. Very disappointing for me. This is actually a game that I was originally planning on doing co-op with my wife, but when we heard how bad the game was supposedly going to be, and then I played it for myself a little bit, I said, I'm glad we didn't do co-op, because looking for survival horror, this is not the game you want. It's just a really boring waste of time, in my opinion. Okay. Moving on to number 14. Most disappointing for certain modes, which basically made it unplayable and very disappointing. The idea of making your own, look at this character here, your own anime character to be a fighter in the world with all these other anime fighters was kind of an interesting idea. And in reality also, the plot of the game isn't so bad. But the problem with Jump Force is sad. Right? You look at these cutscenes right now, you're like, oh my god, it's possessed Vegeta leading an army of superpowered people against you, and now you have to fight them or whatever. Wow, sounds good on paper, and you just don't want to play it anymore. What's funny is they had actually planned that this game was going to be like a huge hit. They had waves of DLC planned for characters, but the game did not sell well at all. It was pretty much Year 2. Yes, this was yet another survival horror game where you were supposed to...
What the hell is this poop-plastered, shit-smothered piece of fuck? And what does it have to...
You play through it has no real ending. At the end, hop out co-op with your friends over the internet or even locally. All of Marvel's large cast of heroes thrown into a game where all the plot lines kind of intersect, going to actual Marvel locations in the world that are real in the Marvel universe and also in the movie universe and all of that. It's really fun. And when you try to do them, you do the optional boss fight, and then the game just freezes and never lets you quit out. Now you're screwed. And now you actually have to completely cancel out of your game and reform the party online to even get into these sections. And really the reason is because the online switch functionality isn't great. The Team Fortress 2, and it had competitive modes like Team Deathmatch, but also it had big territory takeover modes. It even had a big story fleshed out where there were single-player campaigns. Every component you buy the game for, what else are you going to do with it, right? So sadly, the game is a dud. Moving on. The next game, and my most disappointing games of 2019 countdown, is a game that had a lot of anticipation, but also a lot of people were very tepid in countdown. Is a game that had a lot of anticipation, but also a lot of people were very tepidatious about the game. And what can you say? What can I say? It's not a very good game. All right, the next game, and our most disappointing, and they have creatures breeded with the humans, and that's why you got fish people, and there's some people that look like apes as well, and it's never really explained what the hell's going on with them. And in reality, after it's either you're behind cover or you're not. That's not fun. And for me, a lot of the fights and the things that are in the game are just so incredibly tedious and annoying and lackluster. Like, man, I've had fights like this in other games where the combat was much better, and this game, it just kind of sucks. And I wish that they had done better with the combat, because again, for me, Shenmue 3, that is correct. A game that I literally just finished a couple days ago. A game that I was playing for the greater part of a month and a half over the end of the year. And a game that probably was one of the most anticipated were the fact that there's so many NPCs in the game that all have voice acting attached to them with all lines pertinent to the things that you're asking them at the time, depending on where you are in the plot. I definitely think that that's well done, all right? But I'm sorry. Millions upon millions. I did nothing wrong. I did everything. Are Phil's picks exactly what I thought they were going to be? Because now we're getting down to the final four, right? All right. The fourth most disappointing game for me this year, or last year, 2019, was...
All day, trolls just drilled me all day.
Years ago. Call of Duty World War II. I said I really liked the gameplay elements of the game, but the connection was bad, and if the connections were better, the game would have been great. Last year, I played Black Ops 4, and I said, man, I really don't like the gameplay elements of the game, but the online connections are all right. If you feel that there's a need for social justice. When I'm playing a fucking video game like this, I don't need to have political themes crammed down my fucking throat every possible moment. Or the same with the sequel, and you haven't played this yet, don't play it. It's laughably different, and you just should skip it because you're just going to be wasting your fucking... Really down to the nitty-gritty. The top two most disappointing games of the year for me. All right? The top two. The two biggest disappointments. What's it going to be? Are you ready?
Honest pay for honest work.
Fuck you. I don't do honest work, asshole. Only suckers do. Only sucker works a 9-to-5 job.
20 minutes later.
Every once in a while, if there was a really big boss fight, those elements were great. And there was a few times that this epic music would ring out in the middle of a beautiful field that I was... It's just not fun. And I would have given up and quit and said, I'm going to do something else that I'm having fun with. But because I was live streaming it, I was at least able to enjoy the going through it and interacting with you guys during the boring downtime of the track. Combined with older Disney franchises and just kind of making it the biggest, most ultimately fun Kingdom Hearts experience ever. And that really didn't happen. I'm sorry, it just didn't happen. Kingdom Hearts 3 is a game that sadly falls flat on its face for the wrong reasons. Like, if the game's story had been bad, maybe they weren't trying to get challenged. They had these big elements that were just crutches, like the Disney vehicles, right? Oh my God, there's a... challenging and interesting, and it wasn't that at all. It was literally button mash your way through like 8 universes to get to the end and then get a big culmination of confusing story that me, as a person who's not a hardcore fan of Kingdom Hearts launch, this by far the most disappointing game of the year for me. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, Thank you for watching my most disappointing games of 2019 countdown. I know many of you disagree. In fact, people were literally in the stream chat exploding. I disagree with Phil because of this and that. And that's fine. We can all agree to disagree. But at least if you enjoyed this video, I hope that you got something out of it. Maybe this gives you some ideas of games to maybe stay away from that you were thinking of playing in 2019. The combat is so abysmally bad. The engine is just so pathetically basic.
Meanwhile,
oh my god!
Lady, people are free to go whenever they wish.
Stupid game.
Fight locale.
I want to leave the player match. I want to. Jeez, I swear to God, you freaking. You Jews, you Mexicans, you Asians are so demanding.
Worthless specimen, get that ass banned.